are about to listen to another presentation of Raider basketball on your home for Raider Sports, WWSU 106.9 FM. Raider up. Raider Nation, welcome to the Irvin J. Nutter Center for today's matchup between the Wright State Lady Raiders as they welcome the Xavier Musketeers here to the Nutter Center. I'm Parker Testa, joined here by Shea, Neal. Shea, the Raiders come into this one without a win. What do they need to do to beat the Xavier team here at the Nutter Center this afternoon?
Well, the Xavier team has a lot of experience, but also a lot of inexperience, if that makes sense. They have 7 players returning from last year's team, but are missing over 50% of their total points, rebounds, and assists from a season ago. So this is a team that has a lot of growing still to do, hence their 1-win record as well. This team, though, is led by Neal Clark, who's the reigning Big East Player of the Week, averaging 21.5 points a game. Wright State's going to have to slow her down if they want to win here today. Yeah, the Raiders come into this season with a brand-new head coach at the helm, of course, with the exit of Katrina Merriweather heads down to Memphis. Of course, we wish the best of luck to Coach Trina, and she's off to a great start down there in Memphis. But Carrie Hoffman coming over from Cedarville in her first season with a brand-new look. Almost a brand new Raider team here this afternoon that we're seeing on the court. Really, the only returning players from last year's team is number 2 guard Destiny Jackson, number 3 Jada Roberson, number 10 Shamari Hill, number 13 Constance Chaplin, number 20 Diamond Stokes, 22 KK White, 23 Jada Wright, and number 30 Channing Chappell. And that sounds like a lot, but they have lost a majority of their players here, Shea. Yeah, and I mean, when you look at this 0-4 start to the season, obviously it's not what you wanted, but something you got to keep in mind with a team like this is growing over the course of the season. And so far, if you look at these 4 games, lost by 19, lost by 17, lost by 11, lost by 11. They're getting better and better every time they take the floor. This Xavier team is good, but they do have weaknesses, Parker. And I think in playing in front of their home fans for the first time this season, this team's trending in the right direction. I think we could be in for a really good basketball game here today. Yeah, so far this season, the Raiders have played 4 games, have lost all 4. Their first one to the Bradley Braves, 84-65. Second on the 13th of November, 73-56 in Toledo. They took a loss at the hands of the Milwaukee Panthers on November 18th to 58-47, and finally on the 20th, just a couple days ago, taking a loss at the hands of the Green Bay Phoenix, 78-67. So we'll see if the Raiders can turn it around here this afternoon. And you got to keep in mind, this is a very tough start to the schedule. Bradley is a team that could very well end up in the NCAA tournament this year. Milwaukee and Green Bay on the road might be the toughest way you could start a conference season ever. And then, of course, Toledo, a very solid team out of the MAC as well. This has been a gauntlet of a start to the season, and it continues with Xavier today and Marshall coming up next Tuesday. So really, Carrie Hoffman's group getting challenged here in the month of November, but I think it will prepare them well for December, January, and so on. Yeah, absolutely. Last time out, the Raiders went to Green Bay and fell 78-67. Destiny Jackson turned in her 4th double-digit game of the season, finishing with the team-high 17 on 5 for 13 shooting, and the Raiders and Destiny Jackson had a trio of 3-pointers. Channing Chappell added 13 points of her own, filling her final stat line with 4 assists and pulling down 3 rebounds. Channing Chappell has been a sleepy good player for Carrie Hoffman to start the year. She has, and she's a heck of a shooter. She's really good at finding openings for her shot, and she's going to need to be a big player here today. But about a minute left until they do the national anthem, so let's do some score predictions. Who you got winning today, and who's the leading scorer? So I think this is going to be a close game. I think the Raiders pull this one out 67-64. Channing Chappell will lead the scoring with 18. I like it. I'm going with the Raiders as well today. I think playing in front of their home fans is going to be, the getting over the hill that we need to see from this group. I've got the Raiders today 62-59. Leading scorer today, Destiny Jackson. I have her continuing her hot start to the season with 16. All right, with that, folks, Lady Raider basketball just a couple moments away. We're going to step away. National anthem, starting lineups, and Raider basketball when we return on WWSU 106.9.
Hey, what's going on? It's Kev Nash from Hot 102.9 and 1410 Wing AM, and I'm a proud alum of WWSU. You're listening to Wright State Raiders Sports right here on WWSU 106.9 FM, where the Raiders play.
Raider Nation, welcome to the Irvin J. Nutter Center here on this Wednesday afternoon, the week of Thanksgiving. We have Raider basketball for you this afternoon, Lady Raider basketball, that is. I'm Parker Testa, joined here by Shea, Neal. The Raiders welcome the Xavier Musketeers here to the Irvin J. Nutter Center on this Wednesday afternoon. Starting lineups first for Xavier. Starting at guard, number 1, Nia Clark. Number 10, Shyla Beeler. Number 11, Kay Satterfield. Number 23, Anaya Harris. And rounding out the lineup is number 44, Anaya Townsend. For the Raiders, number 0, Adisha Beck. Number 2, Destiny Jackson. Number 3, Jada Roberson. Number 20, Diamond Stokes. And number 30, Channing Chappell. Tip goes to Xavier Musketeers, and we're underway from the Nutter Center.
Nutter Center loud and active early on here today. It's good to have the Lady Raiders back in the building. Right side, the Musketeers go. They swing it to the top of the key. Driving now is the Musketeers. First shot, no good. Diamond Stokes the rebound.
Here's Destiny Jackson bringing it up the court now.
And that was Nia Clark with the first shot of the day for Xavier. We'll be calling her name a lot here today.
Chappell driving. Hands it off here to Jackson. Jackson over to Stokes. Stokes back out to Jackson. Jackson cuts, and she traveled.
So both teams come up empty on their first possession of the afternoon. Happy holidays to all of you, wherever you may be.
Absolutely. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on WWSU 106.9 on the day before the Thanksgiving holiday. Here's Clark. Clark moving to her right. Clark passes inside. This is Satterfield, and she was fouled on the way up, and she'll go to the line.
And that's a great feed by Nia Clark. Puts Satterfield in a great position there, and really kind of trapped Deesh Beck there. All she could do was foul.
So to be Satterfield going to the line here for Xavier.
The first Nutter Center game in the era of Carrie Hoffman here today.
And we spoke with Carrie Hoffman here a couple weeks ago, and she said asked her that very question, what's that going to be like playing that first game at the Nutter Center? And she says, that's going to hit home. I've played games I've coached games in this arena before, but on the opposing bench.
Yep.
So she said this one will hit home for her today. So first game, like Shea said, of the Carrie Hoffman era here at the Nutter Center.
2 free throws there for Satterfield. 2-0 Xavier early on. Chappell drives, now swings it up top to Deesh Beck. Beck driving, kicks it to Jackson. Jackson looking for an outlet here. 10 to shoot. Chappell, step back. Channing Chappell, crossover move. Gets into the lane. Channing Chappell up and good.
What a move by Chappell there to get inside.
Split 3 defenders on that play. Great play, and that's what we know Channing Chappell can do. She's really good at creating space.
Here is Xavier, and it's going to be a foul. Actually, offensive foul. Travel there by number 10, Shayla Beeler.
Only 2 or 3 possessions into this game, but so far strong defense from the Raiders and looking pretty good on the offensive end, moving around, getting some good looks. And I know playing in front of these fans here at the Nutter Center has got to be a huge rush of adrenaline for this team.
2-2, minute and a half in. Stokes inside and the foul. And Stokes will go to the line here after the and one opportunity.
And Diamond Stokes has stepped up in a big way this year. Absence of Shamari Hale the first couple games of the season. Diamond Stokes has not missed a beat. Coming off of a career-high 17 a couple games ago and gets her first points here of the afternoon early.
So Stokes here at the line. Free throw up and right through. 5-2 Raiders here. 8:25 to go, first quarter.
Pretty free throw release for a center. Not bad at all.
And this is a Xavier team that's full of size. That one was blocked by Stokes.
Chappell comes up with the rebound. Channing Chappell will bring it up. Swing it to Jada Roberson. Fakes the 3. Drives inside. Roberson kicks it. Jackson a 3. It is strong and out of bounds to the Musketeers. But you'll settle for missed shots like that because that was a great look, and more times than not, as this game goes on and as this year goes on, Destiny Jackson's going to hit that shot.
And Carrie Hoffman seems okay with that shot.
5-2 Raiders early on. 3 points for Stokes, 2 points for Chapel. Drive inside, tough floater, no good. Rebound, Satterfield, that's no good, and Beck comes down with the rebound.
Beck moving quickly.
Parker, we've gone from Jaleese Beck to Deesh Beck. A Beck is always
Chapel
on this
for
roster.
three, no good. Rebound goes to Stokes. Stokes puts one back up. No good. Rebound here goes to Satterfield.
I'll tell you what, Parker, I love the aggressiveness of this Wright State team early on. They look like the team that wants it more 3 minutes in.
And Clark knocks down the layup there. 5-4 Raiders as they get the ball back here. Here's Jackson. Jackson passing to Chapel. Chapel top the key. Driving. Passes outside here to Jackson, and she's fouled. They're going to say that was a kicked ball on the Raiders. It'll go back to the Musketeers.
Michaela Scarlett checking in for the Musketeers. Scarlett is number 15 for Xavier, and in for the Raiders you have number 23 Jada Wright, as well as number 5 Makaira Webster. A lot of new names we're going to have to learn, Parker.
Absolutely. Almost a brand new team here for Kerry Hoffman and the Lady Raiders this season.
Makaira, a junior transfer from Wabash Community College, but Parker, Dayton area, very familiar with Makaira. She went to very nearby Kettering Fairmont.
And here's Scarlett, puts one up at the line, no good. Fight for the rebound, Wright comes away with it. Here is Jackson.
That's what Jada Wright does best.
Shot from the mid-range, off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Beck. Beck puts it back up. Rebound Xavier.
Too strong, but again, liking the aggressiveness of this Wright State team early. Getting multiple shots, multiple good looks early in this one. 5-4 lead for the Raiders, 6.5 to go first quarter. This is number 10 for the Xavier Musketeers. Clark, the drive, left it short. Jada Wright might have gotten away with a foul there. It looked like she hit Clark on the arm, but it'll be a foul on Clark instead in Raider basketball. I don't know. Obviously, I kind of have the stanchion in my way, and it's hard for me to see everything, but it did look like that Jay Wright might have gotten away with a little bit of a hit on the arm there.
Looks like it for sure. Checking in for Xavier's number 2, Michaela Hayes, as well as number...
Roberson the drive. Roberson, tough shot. No good. Wright palms the rebound, puts it up and in. Jada Wright looking like an NFL wide receiver with the stickum on her hands there. Just palmed it, put it up and in. What a play.
Pulling a Terrell Owens right there. Here's Clark. Clark driving, knocked away. Kept alive by Xavier. Puts it back up. Fight for the rebound. Rebound Wright. And ball stolen here by the Musketeers, and there's a basket for Anaya Harris. And one thing I'm seeing here early on, Shea, is the aggressiveness from both teams. It's something I really like.
It's two teams that have gotten off to slow starts, Parker. You can tell both teams want to leave the Netter Center with a win today.
7-6 Raiders, 5:33 to go, first quarter. Here's Roberson driving, puts it up, no good. Fight for the rebound, it'll go to the Musketeers.
Xavier with a chance to take the lead here on this possession. The drive inside, pull-up jumper is off. Satterfield again on the glass and draws the foul. Satterfield already with 4 rebounds. And the foul is on Deesh Beck. So a strong start to the game for Kay Satterfield, the 6-foot junior out of New York. And the transfer from Ohio State went about an hour and a half south to the Cintas Center at Xavier University.
Couple great programs down in the Cincinnati area. Cincinnati Bearcat football is number 4 in the country right now. Shea, how about that?
First free throw is good from Satterfield, but yeah, absolutely. The first non-Power 5 school to ever make the top 4 of the college football playoff. Luke Fickle's done an unbelievable job with that program, and I mean, yes, I live in Ohio. Yes, it'll probably sound biased, but I couldn't think of a program more deserving to be the first G5 team in the playoff than the UC Bearcats.
And I am not from Ohio, so there's no bias here, and I would agree with you. So here is...
I'm rooting for the Bearcats to get in.
Here is Wright. Wright puts it up, shot and good, plus the foul.
But they're going to change it to an offensive foul. They're going to say that that Xavier defender, number 23, Anaya Harris, got her feet set. Kerry Hoffman and the Raider bench thought it was an and one as well.
7-7 here, just before 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Parker, we changed coaches, but the mentality stays the same. I heard Kerry Hoffman there just yell one and done Raiders, like big on the rebounding, and that's been a Wright State staple for years.
Here is Scarlett driving on Webster, and she's fouled as she puts one up. Scarlett will go to the line.
And that's a foul on Makaira Webster, but that's something that I don't like, is we're going to hit a timeout, but we'll leave it here just momentarily. That's what I like to call, Parker, the James Harden or the Trae Young, if you will, because Makaira Webster went straight up. And what happened there was the driving Musketeer kind of hooked her arm up, and then it's a foul technically because there's contact, but I think it should be an offensive foul because you're hooking that arm. The NBA's kind of cut back on that, not letting players like Harden and Curry and Trae Young do that as much. But I think that's what we just saw here. I just don't know what you expect Makaira Webster to do there. She just went straight up and got her arm hooked. For those of you Raider fans, I assume if you're listening to this game, you're a Raider fan, but the men came up short a little bit earlier today, so a slow start for both programs here this year. The men fall to 1-5. Which I'm sure Scott Nagy and that team will be the first to tell you that's not what they wanted, but still plenty of time obviously to fix that.
Yeah, it was a rough one here for a rough start to the year after the Lake Erie opener here at the Nutter Center a few weeks ago. They have not won a game since that day. Just been somewhat sluggish, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah,
for the Raiders.
It's a team that's getting used to a lot of new pieces. We've seen injuries to a couple guys. We've seen some inconsistency from a couple guys, but with Scott Nagy at the helm, with the talent on this roster, Tanner Holden's off to an outstanding start. I have full confidence that the Raiders are going to figure this out.
As do I. So next matchup for the Scott Nagy's Wright State Raiders, they will play Purdue-Fort Wayne in Fort Wayne coming up next Thursday, December 2nd at 7 o'clock, followed by going a trip to Cleveland to take on the defending champions Cleveland State Vikings at 3 o'clock on December 4th before coming home to the Irvin J. Nutter Center to welcome the Akron Zips on December 15th.
And we're gonna have a legend of WWSU on that call, Trent Arnold, making an appearance back building. And we're excited to see him. So early on, tie game at 7, but Parker, I got to tell you, I'm excited about what I've seen so far from the Raiders. They look aggressive. They look like, a scrappier team so far. Obviously, some shots haven't gone down, but overall, if they play like this for 40 minutes, I like their chances today.
As do I. The aggressive basketball play is something that has been a staple of Wright State women's basketball for years now. And just because a coach changed doesn't mean the mentality changed, just like you said earlier, and we're seeing that here early on. Coming out of the timeout here, it'll be
free throws coming up for number 15.
Michaela Scarlett.
Michaela Scarlett, 5'10" sophomore, from the Bronx, New York. A lot of New York rep here on this team. You got, of course, Kay Satterfield, the transfer from Ohio State, as well as Michaela Scarlett. A little unconventional to see a team in the Cincinnati area go to New York for recruiting, but hey, talent is all over the globe.
Absolutely.
As we've seen from UIC Volleyball, who 70% of their rosters from Europe.
Absolutely. Scarlett, a 73% free throw shooter on the year. 11 for 15 from the line, thus point. And Scarlett's first one goes down.
Xavier has recovered nicely after a little bit of a slow start in the first 3 minutes or so.
Scarlett's second shot is good as well. Xavier takes a 2-point lead, 9-7. 4:52 to go first quarter.
And Wright State has a big opportunity here. Nia Clark on the bench. This has got to be a moment of this game where Wright State controls it with Xavier's best player sitting.
Here's Jackson. Jackson out to Roberson. Roberson driving. Roberson, and she traveled.
I don't know if that was a travel, a carry, a double dribble, but it was something.
Either way, ball goes back here to the Xavier Musketeers. Channing Chapel will check back in for the Raiders. Jada Roberson will take a seat.
And Chapel had that outstanding play on the second possession of the ball game, driving through 3 Xavier defenders to score. We'll see if they use Chapel more in the offense here as the first quarter continues. Open look in the corner is strong, and the rebound out to KK White.
KK White with a number change this season. Shea goes from 11 to number 22. Maybe she had some inspiration from Clayton Kershaw there.
Or thinking about doubling up. 11 times 2. Maybe she's going 100 or 200% instead of 100%. Chapel at 3 and left it a little short.
Here is Xavier. Ball taken away.
And a clean strip by KK White. Heck of a play.
Here's KK White driving. White at the rim. Puts it up. No good. Rebound Musketeers. Here's Clark. Clark moving quickly on Chapel. Clark puts one up and in.
And we'll see if Carrie Hoffman uses a timeout here as the first quarter continues. The Wright State offense has gone a little quiet, and the Xavier Musketeers have seized momentum here at the Netter Center.
Here's Webster. Webster hands it out to White. White inside to Jada Wright. Wright loses the ball briefly. Kicks it out to Jackson. Jackson for 3. Yes, sir! Destiny Jackson knocks down a 3 there and cuts the Xavier lead to 1.
Parker, that's what we call improvisational offense there. Jada Wright lost the ball, got it back, and because Xavier went for the ball, Destiny Jackson wide open.
So here's Xavier now. Harris has it. Passes out here to Clark. Beeler. Beeler driving inside. Shot from the free throw line. No good. Rebound Xavier.
Second opportunity here, 11-10 Musketeers. That shot strong. KK White couldn't control that one. And Xavier will get a third opportunity here on this possession. Very rare that a Wright State team allows 3 opportunities.
Got to get those rebounds. And Carrie Hoffman really loves to stress how important rebounds are. Here's Harris. Harris knocks it down.
And if you get enough opportunities, you're eventually going to capitalize like Xavier just did.
13-10 Xavier, 2:27 to go first quarter. Here's Chapel. Fakes the 3, driving. Chapel out to Destiny Jackson. Jackson inside for Wright. Wright puts it up, no good. Wright gets her own rebound. She'll lose the ball, and it goes out of bounds back to Xavier.
And I've always kind of been curious how that's not called a foul, where Jada Wright had to kind of stick her feet into the court because a Xavier player went flying into her legs, and really she couldn't make that hop step into the paint. I feel like that's, making contact that impedes the shot. But maybe I'm not a basketball coach, so I don't know. But that seemed like a foul to me.
Courtney Prenger checks in, the 6'1 forward from Minster, Ohio, for the Xavier Musketeers.
13-10, Xavier leads. Parker, I don't know if you've noticed this. It looks like Xavier's playing, as that's going to be a foul on Shamari Hale. But I don't know if you've noticed this. It seems like Xavier's playing very, I don't want to say soft, but very loose on the defensive end. I've seen a lot of Raiders be able to just pretty easily get into the paint. As the game goes on, that might end up opening more looks both on the outside and on the inside, drawing more fouls as well.
So at the line here is number 44, Nia Townsend, the 6'2 forward redshirt junior from Pittsburgh. And that is no good.
Townsend went to Winchester Thurston High School.
13-10 Xavier. Make it 14-10 as Townsend hits her second free throw. Here's Chapel.
2 minutes to go, first quarter. Raiders down by 4.
Xavier in a full court press here defensively. Just under 2 minutes to go. Here's Hale, top of the key. Hale. That's going to be out of bounds. Miscommunication there by the Raiders. Tried to get it to Roberson. Roberson kind of cut the wrong way that Hale was expecting. Ball goes out of bounds. Here's Clark.
Collision there. A couple Musketeers hit the deck. It ends up with Townsend now top of the key. 15 to shoot. Clark back into the game. The drive here, and that's a travel.
Courtney Prenger called for the travel there.
Melanie Moore, the third-year head coach of the Xavier Musketeers, pleads her case, but will not get the call changed. Chapel brings it up.
Chapel moving quickly. Gets it over here to Webster. Webster to KK White outside. White for 3, no good. That's going to be nearly saved by Hale, but it goes out of bounds.
And that would have been a flawless pass. Ended up right in the hands of Webster, who had a really good look there, but toe caught the baseline there for Shamari Hale.
Minute on the dot to go here in the first quarter. Here's inside. Pass taken away by Hale. Shamari Hale with the steal. Here's Webster. Webster outside White. White inside. That's going to be a defensive foul.
That'll be on Townsend. Raiders shooting 25% in this first quarter. Xavier not much better at 27%. But Parker, we've seen the last couple games, the Raiders find themselves in a 9-10 point hole after the first quarter. Coach Hoffman and this group got to be pretty happy with where they're sitting right now.
Absolutely. KK White off the inbound. Inside here to Hale. Hale backing down Prenger. Hale shot, rebound, Xavier.
That's a good look that Shamari Hale will take all day because more times than not, that's going in. And that'll be out of bounds to the Raiders. Looked like Prenger was not ready for that pass and threw it off the back of the backboard.
Webster inbounds to Chapel.
About a 7-second difference here between shot clock and game clock here in the first quarter.
Here's Roberson. Roberson traveled.
They're going to call that a moving screen on Channing Chapel.
Some very common fouls here early on. Some offensive fouls have hurt the Raiders here early.
And now the shot clock is off. Xavier can hold it for the final possession of the first if they choose. Top of the key, this is number 15, Scarlett.
Looks like they will hold it. Scarlett taking her time here, eyeing the game clock. 13 seconds to go. Here's Prenger. Prenger outside here to Harris. Harris top of the key. Gets it back here to Scarlett. This one's out to Scarlett. Scarlett, and that's going to be offensive foul here for Xavier. 1 second to go here on the game clock.
Channing Chapel, heck of a play there.
Draws the charge.
Absolutely, and that's big because Xavier had a chance to, take a 6-point lead at the end of this first quarter, but only a 4-point deficit for the Raiders, and for most of that first quarter, really aggressive play and looked strong on both ends of the floor, and you got to think as this game goes on, Parker, those shots are going to start to fall.
Yeah, offensive fouls have hurt the Raiders here early. We'll see if Kerry Hoffman can try to shape that up here as we go into the second quarter.
We'll step away for just a few minutes. When we come back, it is the second quarter of the home opener here at the Netter Center. Wright State and Xavier right here on WWSU 106.9 FM.
This is Wright State basketball on WWSU 106.9 FM, your home for Raider sports.
Back here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center. End of the first quarter, 14-10. Xavier leads the Wright State Raiders. Parker, Testa, Shea, Neal on the call for you this afternoon. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on WWSU 106.9. Raiders off to a sluggish start offensively here early on. The start of the second quarter here at the Nutter Center.
Yeah, it was, 24% from the field does not look good, no matter how you look at it. And also 7 first-quarter turnovers is not going to do it either. But some things you really like from this team, they're hanging right in there in the rebounding battle. They've knocked down free throws, and they're doing a nice job of getting good looks. And I like to think if they keep playing like they did in that first quarter, that they will start to get shots to fall as this game goes on. I think if they keep playing like they did in quarter number 1, they have a really good shot to win this game.
Yeah, here are some statistics early on from that first quarter this afternoon from the Irvin J. Nutter Center. Diamond Stokes is tied with Jackson at 3 points for the lead. Chapel has 2. Jada Wright has 2 for the Xavier Musketeers. Townsend has 3. Harris has 4. 4 is the leading scorer. Harris is the leading scorer here for the Musketeers.
Jackson, Roberson, Chapel, Stokes, and KK White, the 5 out there for the Raiders. Inside they go to Stokes, and that's a blocking foul. Clearly did not get the feet set there, and Diamond Stokes will go back to the free throw line where she's hit the only free throw that the Raiders have taken today, and it looked really good. It caught nothing but net.
14-10 Raiders, 9:49 to go, second quarter. Shooting 2. Thank you, Jason.
Just the best at what he does.
He is. He's amped up today, locked in.
Yeah, he was ready for this. Volleyball season ends, basketball season starts. Not a change of pace at all from Jason Doyle.
Stokes hits her first free throw. I think Jason is kind of itching to go today. He was walking very...
He woke up feeling dangerous, in the words of Baker Mayfield.
Walking very briskly to his seat as he walked by our booth earlier this afternoon. I mean, we've all been kind of antsy. It's been 2 weeks since we've done a broadcast.
And it's been 6 months since we've done our Lady Raiders broadcast.
Absolutely. Here's Clark. Clark inside here to Townsend. What a pass, and Townsend puts it down.
Heck of a feed by Nia Clark.
Here's the Raiders now. Jackson. Jackson outside to KK White. KK White passes over to Roberson. Roberson crosses over a few times. Back here to Jackson. Jackson working on Clark. Jackson for 2, no good. Out of bounds, Xavier will take it. 16-12 to go. 48 seconds ticked off the clock here in the second quarter. Here is Clark, passes to Scarlett. Scarlett inside here to number 11. That's Satterfield. Satterfield will knock that one down.
Showing that Big Ten strength, the Ohio State transfer goes up in traffic and knocks it down. And now gets a steal on the other end. A chance for Xavier here to really grow this lead. Pull up jumper, a little strong, fight for the rebound. And Chappell stepped on the base.
(18-12) Xavier. They lead the Raiders here on this Wednesday afternoon, day before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there listening right now. Hope you have a great holiday. Scarlett loses the ball out of bounds, stays with the Musketeers.
Jada Roberson there, able to get a piece of that. .25 on the shot clock for the Musketeers.
Here's Scarlett. Scarlett for 3. No good. Rebound, Musketeers. This is their third opportunity here. Raiders struggling here with the rebound margin here early on. 16 for Xavier to the Raiders 12.
Steps into a jumper. It's good. Pretty shot from Anaya Harris. And an 8-point Xavier lead, their largest of the afternoon.
Chappell. Chappell passes off to Jackson. Jackson top of the key, working right back to Chappell. Chappell fakes a 3, drives in on Scarlett. What a save, and they're going to say Chappell stepped on the baseline. Ball goes back here to Xavier.
And this is a huge test here for a team that's growing, Parker. When you're down 8, when all the momentum's on the other side, you got to be able to bear down, fight back into this thing. You cannot let Xavier grow this lead to 12-15 in the first half, because then it's just an almost impossible hill to climb. So we'll see what the Raiders can do here.
Here is Beasler. Harris, back to Scarlett. Scarlett, 10 to shoot. Inside here to number 2, that is Hayes. Hayes no good. Rebound Stokes. Stokes tried to pass it to Roberson, stolen away, but the shot's no good here by Scarlett.
That's now 10 turnovers for the Raiders in 13 minutes. That has got to improve.
Here is Roberson. Roberson passes here to KK White. KK White, spin move, backing down Scarlett. KK White, no good. Rebound Hayes.
Nice pass there by Satterfield, and a pretty finish by Anaya Harris. Timeout taken by Kerry Hoffman. We'll take it with them. 6:57 to go, second quarter. The Raiders need a response. They trail by 10 to the Xavier Musketeers. We'll see what they can do out of the timeout when we come back.
You're listening to Wright State Raider basketball on your home for Raider sports, WWSU 106.9 FM. Back here from the Irvin J. Nutter Center, where the Xavier Musketeers lead the Wright State Raiders 22-12 here in the second quarter. Parker, Testa, Shea, Neal joining you from the Nutter Center on this Wednesday afternoon. Raiders offense has gone cold here over the last 5 or so minutes. What do the Raiders need to do to continue to get, or to try to get back into this game?
Well, Parker, they look like a young team that's dealing with some adversity. They're taking a lot of forced shots. They're making a lot of forced passes. How many times have we already seen here today? They get a defensive rebound, look really strong, and then throw it right back to Xavier. You just got to take an extra deep breath, You got to dial in. This is Division I college basketball. Mistakes like this will eat you alive, and I'm sure that's what Kerry Hoffman's saying in this timeout. They got to get back to what they were doing at the start of this game, playing tough, winning the rebound battle, and getting good looks.
Yeah, so far this afternoon, leading scorer for the Wright State Raiders is Diamond Stokes with 5 points. Leading for Xavier is Harris with 8. Raiders losing the rebound margin right now. Xavier with 18, Raiders with 13. And how about this, Shea? Xavier with 8 offensive rebounds here in just about 15 minutes into this game.
Yeah. Kay Satterfield's a big part of that. She's been great. She's been the best player on the floor. Best player so far for the Raiders has probably been Diamond Stokes.
And 3 of her 5 coming from the free throw line. Here is Beck. Beck driving in on Satterfield. Beck getting it out to Jackson. Midcourt.
5 to shoot. This is great defense by Xavier. Jackson has to take a 3 and puts it down. A big shot for Destiny Jackson. Xavier, I mean, you can't play any better defense than that. That's just good defense, better offense.
Yeah, and we'll see if that shot can get the Raiders' offensive momentum going here. Xavier taking it back. With it is number 12, Keza Woods. Satterfield passes out to Beeler. Beeler over here to number 23, that's Harris.
Xavier's got 5 to shoot now. Pull-up jump shot is off. Fight for the rebound. Ends up with the Wright State Raiders. Now they want to run.
Roberson driving. Roberson inside puts the shot up. No good. That's going to be a foul on,
I believe, Diamond Stokes.
The Raiders.
And it is on Stokes. That was a lot of contact there on that Roberson layup for a no call. But the refs have been pretty consistent so far letting him play.
Bringing it up here is Shayla Beeler. Hands it out to Woods. Back to Beeler. Beeler inside here for Hayes. That's going to be a travel on Hayes. Back to the Raiders goes the ball.
And I mentioned it earlier, Parker, when Nia Clark's not on the floor like she isn't right now, this has to be the 2-3 minute stretches that Wright State controls this basketball game. Because Nia Clark's one of the best players, not just in the Big East, in America right now. She's averaging 22 a game.
Jackson's for 3 again, no good. Rebound to Satterfield. And running with it is Xavier. Beeler. They're going to slow up here. Beeler outside the Satterfield. Satterfield back to Beeler, top of the key. Beeler out here to Keza Woods. Inside here for Satterfield.
It's really good defense.
Good defense by Stokes there. Satterfield working on Stokes. And that's going to be too easy there for Kay Satterfield.
No doubt about it. And going back to Nia Clark, for those of you that may not keep up with Big East basketball a ton, Nia Clark is the reigning Big East Player of the Week. And in order to do that, the UConn Huskies also play in that conference. So she had to have had a better week than a player maybe you've heard of, Paige Beckers.
Yeah, and UConn, one of the premier women's basketball teams in the nation.
Gino Auriemma, maybe the best women's basketball coach of our generation.
Absolutely. Nia Clark is a 5'9" sophomore guard from Indianapolis, went to Ben Davis High School, transfer from Miami of Ohio. Here's a 3 here for number 23. That's Harris, no good, out of bounds. Ball goes back to the Raiders.
Now smart by Beck just to let that go out of bounds. Jada Wright and Micaiah Webster back into the game. Parker, this looks like, a team that's, going through a transition phase. This is a team that has clearly a lot of talent, a lot of working parts. They just don't necessarily know how to work together yet. And that's something you see a lot when there's coaching changes, obviously.
Absolutely. Here is Stokes. Goes outside to Beck. Beck driving, layup, no good. Rebound, Xavier. Those are shots you got to put in, Shea.
Yeah, absolutely. Heck of a move to get that look, but just couldn't, left it too strong off the glass. Now Destiny Jackson wants to push.
Stokes inside. That's going to be, Beck, no good off the bottom of the iron.
3:40 to go first half. Nice hands there by Destiny Jackson. They get a steal. Playing fast isn't really working right now. I'd like to see them slow down, look for a good look. There it is. Jackson, a 3, a little short. But that's been their best look of the last couple possessions.
Jackson loses her shoe, and she decides she's going to play without it.
Well, they will stop the clock now. timeout called by the Musketeers. But, yeah, Destiny was ready to play a possession there with a sock on, which on the Netter Center hardwood might be dangerous.
It is.
We're going to step away for a minute. 24-15. The Xavier Musketeers lead it here late first half. Destiny Jackson, Diamond Stokes are off to strong starts offensively. We'll see if the Raiders can go on a little run and make this a close one at the half. We'll be right back. Raider Nation, we got a good one tonight in the Netter Center. Let's get this W, baby. Raider up!
2:44 to go. Here's second quarter. Xavier leads the Wright State Raiders 24-15. Parker Testa, Shea, Neal on the call for you this afternoon.
Those new back tees are sounding really good.
They are. I love. Did put some work in on those, and they're sounding good. Here's Webster for three, no good.
Raiders shooting 19% from the field in this first half. In a lot of ways, they should be thankful they're only down 9. They're still one run away from making this a really good game down the stretch.
Absolutely. It's Webster, White, Wright, Chappell, and Jackson on the floor for the Raiders right now.
Scarlett tries to cross over. Offensive foul. That's a textbook push-off right there, Parker. You cannot, as soon as you, both in the NFL and in basketball now, as soon as you extend that arm, they're going to call you every time.
What and
Hale and KK White back in for the Raiders. In for Jada Wright and Channing Chappell.
And Clark looking like an NFL wide receiver pushing off right there.
Right, absolutely. Well, there's some receivers that are so good at it that they can do it and not get caught. One of them being the Bengals star rookie Jamar Chase. He should have been called for probably 5 or 6 offensive pass interferences this year.
What a play right there by Jada Wright, driving in on Kasia Woods and lays it in.
And that's Jada's game, Parker. She's great at getting inside, great at finishing around the rim. Love to see more of that in the offense as the game goes on.
Steal there by, almost stolen there by Webster, but Raiders keep it.
Raiders really need to win the last 2 minutes of this first half. If they can get a couple more stops, couple more scores, we could have a 1-score game at the break. And that would be big. Clark trying to save it, throws it to KK White.
KK White moving quickly. White from the mid-range. No good. Rebound goes to the Musketeers. What a play by KK White to take that one away.
And don't love that shot, though. The pull-up mid-range jumper, too tough of a look for me. I would have liked to see her try to get inside the paint. Worst case scenario, you draw some contact, get to the free throw line.
It's going to be an offensive foul.
Shamari Hale very vocal about that call. Foul called on Scarlett.
52.2 to go here in the second quarter, just before halftime.
And that's something to keep your eye on, Parker. Scarlett now one of their top guards on this roster. 3 fouls in the first half.
So here's Jackson. Jackson out to Roberson. Roberson working left. Hands it off to KK White.
Raiders still a chance to play for 2 for 1 here.
Back to White. Webster working on Woods. Back to White. White for 3, no good. Rebound. Almost saved there by Roberson. That goes out of bounds back to Xavier. Now, I'm not a big fan of the shot selection here in the last couple of possessions by the Raiders.
No, I'm not either. Again, like I said earlier, I think they're just, they're trying. It's a kind of a typical thing from a young team, but I think they're trying too hard to play too fast, and it's leading to a lot of poor shots, sloppy turnovers. You just got to take that extra moment to take a deep breath and just look for a good shot.
Raiders down 7 here. Xavier with the ball. 1 second difference between shot and game clock. Here is Beeler. Inside here to number 23. That's Harris. Harris lays it up. No good, and the foul. Shamari Hale doesn't like it. Kerry Hoffman telling Shamari Hale to relax a little bit right there.
Yeah, and you don't want to pick up a sloppy, technical foul there. So Kerry Hoffman doing a nice job making sure that didn't get out of hand. Game like this, you're still obviously, like we said, 1 run away from having the lead in this one. And technical fouls, whether it be from the coach or from players, that sometimes is that possession or two that ends up making the biggest difference at the end of the game.
And one thing that I'm seeing here early on is I'm trying to gauge Carrie Hoffman's, body language as a coach, because each coach has a different type of aura about them and how they coach, their coaching style, if you know what I mean, Shea.
Right.
And Carrie Hoffman seems like one of those coaches who's not the most vocal, and that seems like Katrina Merriweather was that way as well. And Carrie Hoffman seems like she's not the most vocal of coaches.
And I think that's still a lot of growing for her as well.
Right.
I think that this team and Carrie Hoffman are going to grow a lot together as the year goes on. But honestly, the first 20 minutes of this one, we saw a lot of good. We saw some things that can be addressed in the locker room. But at the end of it, Raiders only down 8 and still have a great chance to pull out their first win of the year here today.
Halftime here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center. We're going to take a little bit of an extended break, about 8 or 9 minutes here from the Irvin J. Nutter Center. We'll be back with our halftime report. And coming up, second half action from the Nutter Center. Don't go away. Stay with us. You are listening to Raider basketball right here on WWSU 106.9 FM. Second half action coming up next. Let's get this win, Raider. Halftime here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center. The Xavier Musketeers lead the Wright State Raiders 25-17.
Our back two games on a different level, man.
It is. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday to all of you. I'm Parker Testa, joined here by Shea and Neal. Here are some first half statistics for you all. First for Xavier, Anaya Harris leads Xavier with 9 points on 4 for 9 shooting, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, followed by Kay Satterfield with 7, leading the way in rebounds with 9. For the Raiders, Destiny Jackson leads the Raiders in scoring with 6 points on 2 for 6 shooting, 2 for 4, from the three-point line with 1 rebound. Followed by Diamond Stokes with 5. She's 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 1 for 4 from the field. Xavier out-rebounding the Raiders 28-18 here in this first half, off 8 offensive rebounds, adding in 20 defensive rebounds. Shea, Raiders struggled here in the first half offensively. What did you see? What do you think the Raiders need to do to improve their offense and get a win here today at the Nutter Center?
Well, I think a lot of forced shots were taken in that first half. A lot of players, of course, kind of rushing for that first look instead of maybe passing up for a better look. I think if they can work on getting more efficient shots, they'll get a more efficient shooting percentage. Another thing that I saw that I really like, and then I think kept them in this game and can continue to keep them in this game, Nia Clark hasn't scored yet today. Now, that's not going to stay true the whole game. But if they can hold Nia Clark under 10 points today, this team is going to have a really tough time pulling away from Wright State.
Yeah, and I think, we'll see more of that. Carrie Hoffman, I assume that she had some words of wisdom for the Lady Raiders here in this locker room at the halftime break. Just about 15 seconds to go here before the second half action starts.
Right, and a lot of Raider fans have to remember, obviously this team's 0-4. Obviously Carrie Hoffman new to the D1 ranks, but Carrie Hoffman won 70% of her games at Cedarville. D1 is a big thing. It's the top of college basketball, the top of college athletics. But winning translates everywhere. Carrie Hoffman is a winner, and it's only a matter of time before it clicks here at Wright State.
Let's get ready to rumble here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center. Second half action as the players take the court here right now. 25-17, Xavier leads the Wright State Raiders as the players take the court. Starting off the second half with possession will be the Xavier Musketeers. Inbounding the ball will be Nia Clark. She'll inbound it here to Beeler. Inbounds to Beeler. Time starts. Here we go. Second half action from the Nutter Center. Here's Beeler. Guarded here by Chappell. Beeler driving. Beeler passes out to Clark. Nice pass guarded by Roberson. Inside here to Satterfield. What a pass. And Satterfield puts it in.
Parker, this team had a lot of good moments in the first half of being aggressive, of playing solid defense, of getting turnovers, but also struggled to shoot the ball like we hinted at. If you had to grade, if you're Coach Hoffman and you had to put a grade on that first half, how would you grade it?
I give them a C. Solid defense from the Raiders in the first half, but they really need to improve their offense.
And speak of, on point, Jada Roberson misses the jumper, chases her own rebound, gets the second chance, and lays it in. So a score for the Raiders, and then forcing a turnover on the other end. 27-19 our score here at the Irvin J. Netter Center. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays to all of you. Parker, you're going back home to the Indianapolis area of Noblesville, Indiana, as soon as we're done here today.
I am. Hope all of you are excited and spend a good holiday Thanksgiving with your family. Turnover there by the Raiders. Fight for the ball. It's going to be a foul on...
They call that on Stokes. Diamond Stokes just a little bit late to notice that ball was up for grabs, and that's what you call a trip.
Tripping major, if we're talking hockey here, Shea. Neither of us are hockey fans, if you will.
I love watching a game live, though. I don't watch hockey on a nightly basis, and I think it's a cool sport. Unfortunately, I don't know enough to be a super fan of it.
Right.
But anytime somebody gets Blue Jackets tickets and asks me if I want to go, I always say yes, and it's always a blast.
Absolutely. Shayla Beeler hits a shot from the mid-range here. Here's Stokes, and she's fouled on the shot.
I like the looks that the Raiders have gotten so far here in the third quarter. They're being a lot more adamant on getting into the paint, and I think that's where their best game will come. I mean, players like Chappell and Destiny Jackson have that three-point shot at their disposal, I should say. But for the most part, I think this team should focus on getting into the paint, drawing contact, and finishing at the rim.
So first shot there from Stokes will be
no good. Off the right rim.
Stokes here. Second shot will be good. So Stokes goes 1 for 2 at the line here. Xavier moving quickly with the ball.
And Diamond, a very solid Jada Roberson. Great defense.
One better pass there for Chappell. Chappell driving, layup, and in. 3 quick points for the Raiders right there.
Parker, we're not even 2 minutes into this third quarter, but we've seen a different Jada Roberson so far in the second half, and it's looking like a player that could get Wright State back in this game.
Chappell gets the layup. Roberson will be credited with the assist. Inside here to Satterfield. Satterfield, too easy there for Satterfield. Goes right up there on D. Speck.
And Nia Clark a little bit off today, but Kay Satterfield has picked up where Nia Clark has left off. Great performance here by the Ohio State transfer, and that's a foul on Beeler.
Checking in for the Raiders is number 23, Jada Wright. Diamond Stokes will take a seat.
Diamond playing with 2 fouls. Obviously, don't want to risk picking up that third early on in the second half.
Inbounds here to Beck. Beck passes to Jada Roberson, top of the key. Roberson inside to Wright. Wright outside here for Beck. Beck driving inside to Wright. Nice pass. Offensive foul on the Raiders right there.
And I like that play design. It was a nice find to Jada Wright, but just solid defense by the Musketeers, knowing the spot they had to be. They were not inside the barrier there inside. Heads up play. For the most part here today, especially with Nia Clark being kind of off her game today, Melanie Moore has gotten this Xavier team in a really good position to play here today.
31-22, 7:33 to go. Here's third quarter. Here's Clark. Clark hands it out to Satterfield. Satterfield from about 20 feet away. She hits that one. Satterfield has caught fire here for Melanie Moore.
Yeah, it's Kay Satterfield's world, and we're all just living in it right now.
Channing Chappell, nice move, driving in, layup, good for Channing Chappell.
I like what Channing Chappell brings to the floor offensively, creating her shot, quickness.
Nice steal there from Jackson. Jackson moving quickly. Jackson layup and good. 4 points in the matter of 10 seconds there for the Raiders. Timeout, Xavier.
And I think Harris got hit in the face there, holding her nose, but that's what really we've seen so far, Parker, that's going to keep Wright State in this game. Xavier has been just as equally sloppy as the Wright State Raiders, and some of these turnovers here early in the third quarter, they've given the Raiders 6 free points.
And we thought we said we needed a quick start offensively to the second half, and we've gotten it for the Raiders.
Absolutely. Well, here's what's crazy. They scored 7 points in all of the second quarter. They scored 9 in 3 minutes here in the third. So while we're here at a timeout, I thought it'd be nice to touch on the first signing class of the Kerry Hoffman era. 4 new Raiders coming in the class of 2022. where we see Bella Cassoni, a guard from Waynesville, averaging 13 points, almost 3 assists a game. First team all SWBL, which is where my alma mater, Bellbrook, plays as well. So, I had my run in the SWBL as well. So, congratulations to Bella. But how about shout out, by the way, to the Bellbrook High School football team getting to regional finals this year and giving number 1 team in the state, Hamilton-Baden, one heck of a fight. Almost made it to the Final Four in Columbus, but really cool to see that. Our school's never really made it that far. So, but also to throw in Micaiah Miller, guard from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, averaged 10 points, 7 assists, and 2 rebounds a game. 2-time All-League performer. Lauren Scott, a guard from Columbus. From, of course, Worthington Kilbourne High School. She averaged 22 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist a game on nearly 50% shooting. She was Ohio Capital Conference Buckeye Player of the Year and was 3rd team All-State a season ago. And finally, Macy Taylor, a guard from Troy High School in Troy, Ohio, a 1,000-point scorer, and now the all-time leading scorer at Troy High School, 1st team All-League as well in the GWalk. So, sounds like a heck of a recruiting class to get it started here for Kerry Hoffman.
Yeah, 4 new Raiders here coming in next season. All of whom look like they're going to be pretty good players.
Absolutely.
So coming out of the timeout here, 33-26, Xavier leads Wright State, 6:58 to go, 3rd quarter.
Pretty nice crowd here today when you consider that it is the day before Thanksgiving and a lot of people have gone home for the holiday. So
absolutely
cool to see some Raider faithful stay in town for the home opener. And like we said, they hit the road next week against Marshall following today's game, but they'll be back at home on the 2nd and 3rd of December. Big weekend, Parker. IPFW and Cleveland State here at the Netter Center. Right now, the only 2 undefeated teams in the Horizon League.
Yeah, big weekend there for the Wright State Lady Raiders. We'll see if they can catch some fire here as we head towards that weekend.
And while we wait for this one to resume, what a job so far by brand new head coach and IPFW alum back at her alma mater, Maria Marchesano. They're off to a 4-0 start and have not missed a beat in the first year of Coach Marchesano. What a start.
Absolutely. Here is Scarlett. Scarlett outside here to Hayes. Hayes goes inside to Satterfield. Satterfield loses the ball. And that's going to be, we're going to have a jump. Possession goes back to the Raiders.
And that's a heck of a play. Again, it's smart. If you're Xavier right now, your offense has to go through Kay Satterfield. But right there, the Raiders getting their hands in the passing lanes, knocking another ball free. And that's now 15 turnovers by the Xavier Musketeers.
Defensive basketball has been really good. Strong start here for the Raiders defensively. And I'm going to use a Scott Nagy quote right here. Can they turn their defense into offense? And it's sure looking like it early here in the second half.
If you play solid defense for 40 minutes, Parker, you really only got to play solid offense for 20.
Absolutely. KK White gets the inbound from Stokes. Excuse me, that was Destiny Jackson. Here's Roberson. Shot, no good. Rebound here goes to Harris.
So far, it's felt like the Raiders are winning the 3rd quarter here at the Netter Center. Satterfield the drive, and the roll's off. Out of bounds.
Raider basketball.
Musketeer must have touched it. The last I saw, it was off of Jada Roberson, but I won't complain.
I don't think Kerry Hoffman will either. Here is Destiny Jackson. Passes out to KK White. White inside to Jada Wright.
I'd like to see Jada be more aggressive on the inside. Here she cuts, puts it up, a little strong, but I like that shot there by Jada Wright, who's got a couple inches on the much smaller Michaela Hayes.
Here's Scarlett. Scarlett working on Channing Chapel. Here's Harris. Harris passes inside to Satterfield. Can they stop her here? Jada Wright, Satterfield, no good. Rebound Wright. And that's going to be a pass stolen away here by Xavier. That's going to be a foul on Jada Wright.
They're going to say it's on Chapel, a block. And that's the 4th or 5th time we've seen that today. You don't have to play so fast off of defensive rebounds, off of stops, because they got to stop. They have momentum on their side, and then they throw it right back to Xavier. And that's going to make it really hard to get back into this game. You don't have to play so fast. You can take a deep breath, bring the ball up, set something up. Nia Clark.
Nice shot there by Clark, and I believe that is Clark's first points here of the afternoon.
You are correct. first bucket of the game for Neal Clark. Puts the Musketeers back up by 9. Satterfield has paced the way for the Musketeers. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists.
Jada Roberson's going to check out. Myra Webster back in for Wright State. And we're going to have Chapel inbounding here to Destiny Jackson. Jackson standing on Rowdy Raider. Jackson driving inside, passes out here to KK White. White for 3, off the iron, no good. Rebound Wright, loses the ball, stay with the Raiders.
Jada Wright's been a nice spark here for the Raiders in the last couple minutes. Now 7 rebounds and an assist to go along with her 2 points. Jada Wright, I think, not really up for debate, but the best rebounder on this roster.
Jada Wright kicks it out to Jackson. Jackson top of the key to Chapel. Chapel driving back to Wright. Wright shot from about 7 feet away, no good, a little bit too strong.
Raiders started off very strong in the first 3 minutes of this quarter, much like the first quarter, but their offense has cooled off a little bit. See if they can settle back in. Scarlett, Townsend, and throws it away. Neal Clark not on the same page there. That's another Musketeer turnover. They're 16th. Timeout here at the Netter Center. We'll take it with them. 4:36 to go in the third quarter. The Musketeers lead at 35-26. The Raiders trying to get back into it on the back of Jada Roberson. We'll be right back after this. This is Wright State Raider basketball on WWSU 106.9 FM, your home for Raider sports.
Back here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center, the Xavier Musketeers lead the Wright State Raiders 35-26, 4:36 to go in the third quarter. Parker, Testa, Shea, Neal on the call for you this afternoon. Appreciate you hanging out with us on WWSU 106.9 as we come out of this timeout. Leading scorers here for Xavier. Leading scorer for Xavier is Kaylin Satterfield. She has 13 points. Leads both teams in scoring with 13 points. Kaylin Satterfield has been the offensive spark plug for Melanie Moore.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And before we come out of this timeout, I'd like to throw out there that during my brief playing career into my brief broadcasting career, feels like nothing gets you hyped like Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train.
Absolutely. All right, basketball back in action here at the Nutter Center. Here's Shamari Hale, top of the key. Out to Jackson. Jackson driving in. Shot from the mid-range, no good. Jackson gets her own
play
rebound.
by Hale to tap that out.
KK White inside to Shamari Hale, and Shamari puts it down.
And Shamari Hale made that play possible, tapping it out to Jackson and finding that crease in the defense. That's vintage Shamari Hale right there on that play.
Here is Scarlett. Scarlett passes out to Satterfield. Satterfield to Clark. Clark working on Channing Chapel. Clark loses the ball out of bounds. Raiders basketball.
Great defense by Channing Chapel on the Big East Player of the Week, Neal Clark.
Destiny Jackson bringing it over the half court right now. Here's Chapel. Chapel out to Myra Webster. Webster passes out to Jackson. Jackson inside to Hale. Hale to KK White. KK White will step on the baseline out of bounds.
I was a little surprised to see Shamari make that pass there. I thought KK was a little close to the baseline anyway, but
And it looked like Shamari was going to back down Townsend right there and try to put it in, but passes to White right there out of bounds.
3.5 minutes to go. Third quarter, Raiders still hanging in there, down by 7. If they can get it down to 3 or 4, this fourth quarter could be a fun one.
It's going to be
a blocking foul on Chapel. That'll be her third. Beck back into the game for KK White.
So we're going to have Webster, Hale, Beck, Chapel, and Roberson on the floor for the Raiders. Here's Beeler, guarded by Chapel.
Great screen by Satterfield, and it's going to lead to an and one for Beeler. Satterfield completely took Channing Chapel out of that play, and Beck had to pick which defender she wanted to try to guard, and she tried to guard both, and that's going to lead to an and one.
35-28 here. Xavier still leads.
37-28 now after that score. Xavier with a chance to go up double digits.
Scoreboard has yet to update here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center.
That'll be the fourth foul on Beck.
Make it 38-28 as Beeler hits the free throw. Here's Jada Roberson. Jada Roberson out to Chappell across court. Chappell working on Clark. Hands it off to Webster, top of the key. Webster over to Roberson. Roberson driving. Roberson inside. That's going to be a rebound for Townsend. No good.
That shot didn't go in, but I love the aggressiveness that we've seen from Jada Roberson in the second half.
So ball goes out of bounds.
Timeout called by Kerry Hoffman, but only a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Wright State Raiders men's team fall earlier today to Long Beach State 85-76. Next time you'll see the Raiders is, I believe, Tennessee Tech? Is that their next game?
No, it'll be, it should be, oh boy, look at us being unprepared. Purdue Fort Wayne.
Oh, they're going into conference play, that's right.
Coming up on next Thursday evening at 7, and before going to Cleveland State the following Saturday, and then after that they'll come back home and face Akron here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center on December 15th.
And the Dons are red hot on both sides of the conference. The Lady Mastodons, if you will, are 4-0, and the men's side 3-2, sitting second in the conference, only behind maybe not the biggest surprise of the Horizon League, but definitely the best start in the Horizon League, the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. What a story they've been so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg Campy has done a fantastic job, and they beat a Big 12 school in Oklahoma State. So
when they found a grad transfer that may be a top 5 player in this conference in Jamal Kane, he is off to one heck of a start in his Oakland career.
Absolutely. So here is Satterfield, top of the key. She's going to hand it out to Beeler. Beeler driving. Passes out to Webster for 3. No good. Excuse me, that was number 23, Maya Harris.
Is that Santa in a Wright State shirt right there to our left?
Sure does look like Santa right there.
It's not Thanksgiving yet, man. Come back out in 2 weeks.
Santa giving a bit of a pregame appearance here before his start to his season.
Always a pleasure to see Mr. Claus in the Nutter Center.
Absolutely. Mr. Claus out here supporting Raider basketball. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's a little known fact that, Santa and all the elves up at the North Pole are Raider basketball fans.
Absolutely.
They have season tickets.
Wright State Raider basketball supported by our fans up at the North Pole. Appreciate them as always.
We're idiots.
We are idiots. Here's Satterfield. Satterfield hands it out to Clark, top of the key.
Raiders looking to get a couple stops, couple scores to end the quarter here.
And they start that with a Shamari Hale layup on the previous play, and that'll be Satterfield again. Townsend knocks that one down from a couple feet away.
And that's another second chance point by the Musketeers. Now 9 of them today.
Shamari Hale, top of the key, guarded by Townsend. Out to Roberson, Chappell, and then we're going to call a defensive foul. It's going to be a blocking foul on Anaya Harris.
And it's poetic justice, isn't it, that the Raiders haven't been able to shoot the 3 very well today, and then as soon as there's a foul called right before the shot, Chappell nails a 3.
Yeah. And she was wide open, too.
Yep.
So we'll see if they can draw up a similar play and get, hopefully, a better result. Not saying that the foul was a bad result, but the shot, a made shot, is a better result.
You'd love to make 3s, yeah, absolutely. Hale, top of the key, swings at Roberson. Roberson looking for a screen. Chappell open again.
Will she get this one?
Yes, she will!
They did the same play, and it worked to perfection that time.
Kerry Hoffman just hit rewind on the tape and said, wait, let's run it back.
So the Raiders cut the Musketeer lead to 7 here. And the Nutter Center wakes up a little bit. Here we go. Scarlett, top of the key. Out here to Clark. Clark inside here to Hayes. Hayes lays it up.
That's too easy.
And she'll get the roll. Like Shea said, too easy there for Hayes. And Deesh Beck out of the game here with 4 fouls.
Minute to go, third quarter. Chapel off a 3. Raiders down by 9.
Webster hands it off to Roberson. Chapel open in the corner.
And one, Jada Roberson. Here they come, Parker.
And Chapel was open here on our right side in the corner. Roberson didn't see her, but result won't matter.
3 inside or 3 outside, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. We'll see if Roberson can knock down the free throw right here.
It would be so big right here if the Raiders could get a stop on this next possession, get one more score, go into that fourth quarter down 3 or 4. They'd have a lot of momentum and be down potentially one score heading into the final 10 minutes. This Raider team has seemed to have woken up here in the second half.
Roberson, free throw, good. Cutting the Xavier lead to 6 here. 42-36, 55 to go, third quarter. Here's Beeler. Musketeers taking their time here. They're going to get this one out to Scarlett. Back to Clark. Clark to Beeler. Beeler working on Channing Chapel. Here's Scarlett. Scarlett to Clark.
Jackson nearly jumped that pass.
Good ball movement here by the Musketeers. Scarlett for 3. Got it!
And
that's going to quiet the
big
momentum.
Shot by Scarlett.
That's going to quiet the momentum there for the Raiders. 23 to go. Shot clock is off, third quarter. Stokes top of the key. Roberson out to Chapel. Chapel working on Beeler. Chapel driving inside, cross court. Chapel out to Webster. Webster to Stokes from the free throw line. No good. Rebound to the Musketeers. Beeler, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Inside here for Musketeers, and they get the shot off by Harris, and they will get the layup as the buzzer expires here, third quarter.
And that's a heck of a turnaround there in that last 30 seconds by Xavier. The Raiders had cut it down to 6. Enormous shot by Michaela Scarlett, and then the missed shot turns into a bucket there, and they take an 11-point lead to the final 10 minutes. Wright State's got some work to do. We're going to step away for just a moment. When we come back, the home opener heads down the final stretch. As Scott Hansen, our friend at NFL Red Zone, would say, it's the witching hour here at the Netter Center. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, no.
Hey, what's going on? It's KF Nash from Hot 1029 and 1410 Wing AM, and I'm a proud alum of WWSU. You're listening to Wright State Raiders Sports right here on WWSU 106.9 FM, where the Raiders play.
(47-36) from the Irvin J. Nutter Center. Good afternoon. Fourth quarter action from the Nutter Center. Xavier leads the Raiders 47-36. Fourth quarter just underway inside as Roberson loses the ball and it goes back to the Musketeers. Parker, Testa, Shea, Neal on the call for you this afternoon. Appreciate you hanging out with us on this day before Thanksgiving. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Leading scorer so far here for the Musketeers is Satterfield with 13, followed by Harris with 11. And for the Raiders, leading scorer is Channing Chapel. She has 9, followed by Destiny Jackson with 8. Roberson has 7. 9:35 to go here, fourth quarter. And it's the Xavier Musketeers with the basketball. Here is Harris, top of the key. Harris working right. Harris driving inside. Nice defensive play. Satterfield grabs the rebound. No good. Nice defense from the Raiders. Here's Chapel. Chapel moving quickly. Chapel outside. This is Jackson. Jackson driving inside. Layup, no good. Rebound. Nice play for Stokes.
And draws the foul going up.
The Raiders shot 50% from the field in that third quarter to the Musketeers 71%. So for the Raiders, I don't think so far in that third quarter, offense hasn't been the issue. I think defense is something that they've struggled with.
Yeah, it's you've seen a lot of kind of inconsistency on both sides of the ball. When the offense starts clicking, they let up some easy scores. And when the defense starts clicking, they can't find the bottom of the basket. So we'll see if this fourth quarter, everything can come together.
Stokes misses her first free throw right there. And Stokes hits the second one. Cuts the Xavier lead to 10. 9 minutes on the dot to go here in this one. Here's Nia Clark. Clark gets it out here to Harris. Harris over to, that is number 12, Woods. And Woods hits a 3 right there. And Xavier extends their lead to 13.
Yeah, it's a big shot there by Kezia Woods.
Destiny Jackson inside, and she gets a layup. What a shot there by Destiny Jackson.
And that's going to be how the Wright State Raiders get back into this one. Quick shots, good looks. Got to chip away at this one possession at a time.
Xavier, of course, taking their time here on the possession, trying to work the clock. Here's Woods again. Woods outside to Clark. Clark guarded by Roberson. Clark driving, shot from the mid-range, no good. Rebound goes to KK White. Chappell moving quickly. Destiny Jackson out to Roberson in the corner. Loses the ball, gets it back. Roberson gets it out to Chappell. Chappell driving. Chappell outside to Jackson for 3. No good.
Not a bad look there by Destiny Jackson. Still plenty of time. 7:40 to go. The Raiders trailing by 11.
Kay Satterfield been the spark plug for Melanie Moore today. Her shot won't go right there. Rebound to Chappell. Chappell working on Clark. Out to Roberson, top of the key. Roberson driving. Roberson puts one up and in. Jada Roberson trying to put this team on her back to get the Raiders back into this one.
50-41 Musketeers here. Roberson now up to 11 points with, I believe, 8 of them coming in the second half.
Here's Nia Clark. Nice pass out to Woods. Woods over to Harris. Harris driving on Jackson. Nice defense from Jackson. Rebound. That's going to be foul on KK White off of a Satterfield shot.
That was great recovery defense by Destiny Jackson. But we've seen when Wright State's tried to chip away at this lead as the game's gone on, as the afternoon's continued.
So Jada Wright.
Second and third opportunities for the Musketeers have really hurt the Wright State Raiders.
So Jada Wright checks back in, as well as Deeshbeck. Deeshbeck back into the game. She has 4 fouls.
Well, with 7 minutes to go, I mean, you don't have much to lose, so you might as well go for it.
Satterfield at the free throw line here. Her first one will go down and gets the roll.
Musketeers now 9 of 12 at the free throw line today. Very efficient, 75%.
51-41, 6:51 to go. Lots of ones here on the scoreboard right now as the second one goes down for Satterfield. And Satterfield is wearing a pair of ones. She's number 11. So lots of ones right there for the Musketeers.
Quite a few.
Here's Chappell. Chappell goes outside to Beck. Beck hands it off to Roberson. Roberson driving. Can she do it again? No. Offensive foul. Nice play by Townsend to draw the foul off of Jada Roberson, and the Musketeers will get the ball back. (52-41) here Xavier leads. Harris inbounds here to Beeler. This will be Beeler working on Chappell. Offensive foul on Beeler. Nice play by Chappell to draw that one.
That's the second or third time Channing Chappell has drawn an offensive foul today. She's done a nice job drawing that contact, like you said, on the drive inside and getting the Raiders the ball back with a chance to cut it back to single digits.
Here is Jada Wright, top of the key. Wright out to Roberson. Roberson driving again out to Chappell. Chappell working on Townsend. Chappell gets the shot off, no good. Rebound to Clark. Clark moving very quickly and just outruns Jada Wright right there and lays it in.
And that's the explosiveness of Nia Clark. It takes a special kind of player to be the best player in the Big East Conference in any given week, and Nia Clark is a special kind of player, averaging 22 a game.
Destiny Jackson driving, lays up and in. Nice shot from Destiny Jackson.
Raiders will not go quietly into that good night, as Edgar Allan Poe once said.
Look at Shea quoting literature right there.
It's poetry, my guy. Quote the Raven nevermore.
Aggressive defense there from the Musketeers, but the Raiders keep the ball. Here's Jackson. Chapel outside, driving on Satterfield, the much larger Satterfield.
I like this matchup here. I wish
Chapel for three. No good. Rebound. Goes to Wright. What a save by Roberson, blocked by Townsend. Great defense there from the Musketeers. And that's too easy for Nia Clark.
Oh, the Euro step from Nia Clark. Pretty.
Nia Clark up to 17, Nia Clark up to 6 points, all of those coming in the second half.
And really most of those coming in the last 3 minutes or so.
Absolutely. Here's Roberson. Roberson inside, puts it up, and the foul, and she'll go to the line. Shooting 2 is Jada Roberson. (56-43), 4:37 to go here, third quarter. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one with them in the booth. 56-43 to go. 56-43 is our score. 4:37 to go. Third quarter. We'll be back on WWSU 106.9. This is Wright State Raider basketball on your home for Raider sports, WWSU 106.9 FM. 56-43. Xavier leads the Wright State Raiders here from the Irvin J. Netter Center. 4:37 to go here in this one today. Parker Testa, Shea, Neal on the call for you this afternoon. Appreciate our good friend Nick Phillips every single time out, bringing us a new stat sheet. He's legendary.
He's kind of the GOAT.
Not kind of, he is.
Yeah. The Tom Brady of the Wright State Athletic Department.
The Tom Brady of sports information directors around the country is Nick Phillips.
I agree.
All right, just about ready to get back to go here from the Irvin J. Nutter Center. Leading scorer for the Xavier Musketeers still currently is Kaylin Satterfield with 15, followed by Anaya Harris with 11. Nia Clark has 6. And for the Raiders, Jada Roberson has 11, followed by Destiny Jackson with 10.
It's been great to see everyone again today. Jason Doyle, Joylyn Brown, Nick Phillips, Justin Kinner, the whole squad out here today for the home opener.
Absolutely. It's been a few weeks since we've seen everybody around here.
Yeah. It's great to see the fans in the stands.
Absolutely. 56-43 here as Jada Roberson misses her first free throw and misses her second one. So both shots no good for Jada Roberson. Something very rare we see from Jada right there.
4.5 to go. We're getting to the point where the Raiders are going to need quite a bit of help. They want to come back in this one. They've gotten as close as 6. But a huge 3 by Michaela Scarlett at the end of the third quarter.
Nice pass inside to Clark, from Clark inside to Townsend. Shots no good. Beck moving quickly. Beck double teamed out to Chapel. Chapel to Destiny Jackson driving. Chapel outside here to Beck. Beck inside to Hale. Hale puts one up and in. What a play from Shamari Hale.
Tough finish by Shamari Hale. Maybe keeps the Raider hopes alive.
Here's Nia Clark on the left wing. Top of the key is Clark. Out to Beeler. Beeler back to Clark. Musketeers playing the clock game right now.
As they should.
That's going to be loose ball picked up by Satterfield, and that's going to be a steal here by Destiny Jackson. Jackson moving quickly. Roberson inside. Puts one up. No good. Roberson out of bounds, and it's going to be Musketeer basketball.
The refs have gotten an upgrade in the clothes game here, man. Those nice little dry fits that they get to wear, those are sharp.
Absolutely.
I like them.
Myra Webster in for the Raiders, and we're going to see Courtney Prenger in for the Musketeers as well as Anaya Harris. Wright State Raiders playing a full court press right here, trying to play some strong defense, try to will themselves back into this one. 3:12 to go. Here is Harris. Harris working on Chapel. Moving back and forth here in the backcourt.
Trying to rock her to sleep, but Chapel staying in front of her nicely.
Satterfield for 3. Lots of rainbow on that one, no good. Here is Destiny Jackson. Destiny Jackson looking for Hale, won't get it. Chapel, top of the key. Chapel back to Destiny Jackson. Jackson driving on Clark. Jackson, nice play to put it up, but it's no good.
2.5 to go. The Raiders still find themselves down 11. We're starting to get to the point where they're going to need some missed free throws, some turnovers.
Couple fouls possibly as well. Harris driving, and that's going to be too easy for Anaya Harris, and I think that'll put the bow on this one, Shea.
58-45, not looking good here for a Raider victory here in the home opener. Chappell has that one stolen by Scarlett. Scarlett will go coast to coast and lay it in.
Too easy there for the Musketeers.
Timeout, Kerry Hoffman. Raiders down by 15. We'll step away for just 60 seconds. When we come back, the final 2 minutes of the first game at the Netter Center. Wright State needing a miracle to pull this one out at home.
You're listening to Wright State Raider basketball on your home for Raider sports, WWSU 106.9 FM. 62-47 here, a minute 19 to go in this game here from the Irvin J. Netter Center. Parker, Testa, Shea on the call for you on this Wednesday afternoon. Xavier leads the Wright State Raiders here by 15. Courtney Prenger inbounds it here to Scarlett. Scarlett working on Webster. Here is Clark. Clark. 1 minute to go here at the Irvin J. Netter Center, and there's going to be a defensive foul by the Raiders. And Shea, we've seen a lot of promise from this Raider team here today. Just poor execution, if you will.
Yeah, this is, I think, yet another step in the right direction, because we've seen in the last couple games the team come up short because of one bad quarter. If you look at the box score here today, they didn't have a bad quarter. They just, couldn't win any of the four quarters. So I think that's a step in the right direction. Next step would be to win a quarter or two, and then all of a sudden you're talking about winning some games.
Here is Deeshbeck. Deeshbeck chasing down the basketball, loses it, throws it back in. Nice play by Roberson to save it outside to Webster. Webster for three, no good. I was going to say, if there's any quarter that the Raiders really struggled, it was that second quarter.
It was. And that was really, unfortunately, that ended up being Xavier's worst quarter of the day as well, where if Wright State could have played, like in the third quarter, if the Raiders could have played in the second quarter like they did in the third quarter, we could be talking about a completely different game right now.
Absolutely. Pair of sticks on the clock for you here from the Irvin J. Netter Center. 11 seconds to go.
Pair of sticks. I like that. I lost sight of Santa here. I don't know where. Did he leave early?
Had to go back up.
Did he check out?
Had to go catch a flight back to the North Pole.
He's got Thanksgiving dinner at Mrs. Claus's house coming up.
Absolutely. It's not Santa's house. It's Mrs. Claus's house.
Absolutely. Happy wife, happy life, eh, Parker?
Absolutely. Scarlett inbounds the basketball, and the Musketeers are going to hold it here. 62-47, our final here today from the Irvin J. Netter Center. The Raiders fall to the Xavier Musketeers in their home opener. We're going to step away for just a few minutes. When we come back, it's the WSU Raider postgame show here on WWSU 106.9 FM. Stay with us.
Raider Nation, the WSU Raider post-game show. It starts right now. It is the WSU Raider post-game show right here on WWSU 106.9 FM. How are all of you? I'm Shea, Neal, alongside with me, Parker Testa. Parker, the Raiders come up short today in the home opener, 62-47. Their next home game will be Friday, December 3rd, against the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. So, we sit here I got to ask. Overall grade. We talked about a grade at halftime. Overall grade, how would you grade today's performance?
Well, it's tough. Their second half was definitely better than their first.
Mm-hmm.
And overall grade for the game, I'd probably give them a C+. I think, they definitely shaped up their offense in the second half, but when they shaped up their offense, their defense took a bit of a hit. And you got to find that balance of having decent offense while at the same time being stout on the defensive end of the floor. Mm-hmm. And the Raiders haven't found that quite yet. And with time, that's gonna happen. But with time, I think they will find that and they will get back into it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that this team continues to take steps in the right direction. I think we saw that today in the sense that, like we said, you look at the box score. Lost the first quarter by 4, lost the second quarter by 4, lost the third quarter by 3, lost the fourth quarter by 4. They hung in with Xavier for all 4 quarters. And as you get further into the year, as you get more experience with this group, Wright State's going to start winning quarters by 3-4 points, and all of a sudden we're going to start winning games consistently.
Yeah, and I think that's something that you need to look at. And I think Carrie Hoffman will go in, and her coaching staff will kind of evaluate this game here after their first home game of the year here at the Nutter Center. They're going to go in, they're going to evaluate, watch the film. They're going to get back into the gym and continue to work on it. So we'll see if they can continue to kind of improve and still looking for that first win.
Absolutely. Wright State's next chance to pick up win number 1 will come on Tuesday afternoon, I should say, against the Marshall Thundering Herd. A chance for them to avenge the guys, if you will, who just lost to Marshall a couple weeks ago. So maybe some, Wright State camaraderie there, and a team can get revenge.
Yeah.
But Xavier now heads on the road to take on their next opponent. I wish it told me who their next opponent was. I figured it would, but it doesn't look like. Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. Xavier heads to Eastern Kentucky to square off with, I don't know what they are, a Hilltopper. No, that's Western Kentucky. I don't know what Eastern Kentucky is. Colonials, Colonels, whatever. But they take on Eastern Kentucky next. That'll be on Saturday afternoon. So that's the next test for Xavier. Melanie Moore, though, had her team ready to go today. In her third season, just 9-40, her career record. It's been a rebuilding time at Xavier, but it's starting to look like that's maybe turning a corner with players like Kay Satterfield, Nia Clark, and Michaela Scarlett. We saw quite a bit of talent today on the Xavier side.
Yeah, they get a big win here today, and they needed it too. So Melanie Moore and her team they're a solid team, and especially with a player like Nia Clark, had a great game today, as well as Kay Satterfield did as well. Yeah, the Raiders will go back in. They'll evaluate. They'll come back out and try to get a big win next time out, as will Xavier. So Shea, final thoughts from your eyes about the Wright State Raiders before we put a bow on this one.
I think they're close. I think that they're one or two fixes away from being a team that wins and wins consistently, and I think they're getting close, and I think we're seeing Carrie Hoffman effect start to wear off on this group, and it seems like every single game they're getting closer and closer to that first win. I bet it comes before the end of the next homestand.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So
just a couple scores around the Horizon League really quick, just to keep people up to date with this fun conference.
Sure.
IPFW suffers their first loss of the season to Evansville, 84-71. Evansville's Janiah Davis puts up 35 points in that one, a new career high. Wow. Robert Morris gets the win over Morehead State, 69-45. Big win there for Charlie Buscaglia's group, of course paced by Sol Castro with 8, as well as the true freshman Phoenix Gideon with 12 in 15 minutes. 12.6 rebounds as well, but a strong start for the Colonials on the back of Sol Castro and Esther Castedo, looking like they're going to take a step forward in their second year in the program. A little bit later tonight as well, as my internet picks a really bad time to crap out, but there we go. A little bit later on, though, why did it take me back to September? That's odd, isn't it?
It is odd.
But we'll just do a quick little scroll down here, get to the end of November. This is live radio, folks. This is how we do it here in live radio. But as well, later on tonight, the Northern Kentucky Norse and Lindsay Duval is off to an outstanding start, second in the conference in scoring. They take on the Miami Redhawks in Oxford, and the Wisconsin Badgers travel, I don't know what highway that is, but they travel down the highway to take on the Milwaukee Panthers.
Up the highway.
Up the highway. You're right. Madison's further south than Milwaukee, so you're right. They travel up the highway. So battle for Wisconsin coming up tonight at 7. And then on the men's side of things, we saw Yale defeat Milwaukee earlier today, 69-56. We saw Long Beach State defeat Wright State. And later on tonight, Oakland takes on Delaware in the championship out there in Estero, Florida in that tournament. So Oakland looks to continue their hot start. I'll definitely be tuning into that one. And then tomorrow night, you can catch the UIC Flames on Thanksgiving, taking on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors in Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, folks, we appreciate you hanging out with us this afternoon on WWSU 106.9. For Patrick Smallstick back in the studio, I appreciate his help as always. Legend. For Shea, Neal to my left, I'm Parker Testa saying so long and Raider up. Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you soon.